Look at this beautiful Mobile Suites DRW. We're gonna go up and check out this roof. How fine of a job they did for this high dollar coach. It's high dollar. We'll walk up there and take a peek. We already got it all wrapped and just trying to show what the coach was, but we protect everything. The inside's all protected as well. Protect every single thing on here. When you go inside, there should be some padding on there. Got the padding on the floor. We got it everywhere. We don't want to have anything, you know, even the junk, like we got all this crap on here. You step inside the coach, I don't want to get on their carpet or anything like that. So, all right, let's go up there and take a look. We even got it taped down real good there so it doesn't slide. All right, this is our DRW, our Mobile Suites. I wonder if it says on here. Should have a logo or something on here. No? Well, if you want that, it's another 10 grand. If you wanted to, if we had one, I wanted to show you. Look at this here. A DRW, you gotta do better than this. You got to do better than this. You can see, so what they did is they stapled this down. All the staples pop loose, so the guy had put this down. It's not even, like it's gone now. The staples popped all loose. Look at all this tape he had to put on the turn bar. That's just crazy. Same thing on this other side. I know these coaches are extremely expensive. We've got a 2017 up on the channel. I don't know what year this one is. That 2017, that one there was, I think he said the price on it was like $125,000 at that time in 2017. I don't think he paid that, but that was the sticker on it. That's just crazy. So this is what they want you to do, is just put more on, more on. You can see they had some here, added some more there, had some here, added some more there. Keep adding, stacking. The RV industry will do everything to exploit your ignorance to roof systems. This is Ranga. I pronounce the G a little harder. So obviously tape this up because this thing was leaking. They have put more on there. So we're gonna open this up. Now this is something I absolutely don't like, the way they do this. See if I can focus in on this. Working on my camera skills. See that cow pucky underneath there? That white cow pucky? That is a bolt that holds the air conditioner down. They screw it down right from the the inside of the air conditioner here. They go, open, take that white cover off, and then you have your base, and they screw it right down to the roof. So then over time what happens is the thing gets wallered out, and somebody has to, just from vibration and also from people having to work on it, they got to keep putting more on, and then more on. But that won't seal because the decking underneath it is going to be compromised. It's going to be all wallered out. So you would think for the money you spend on this that they would actually put a little bit better engineering in it. So right here in the front, you can see the same thing right there. And you can see the same thing over there, and over here, right there. So we're going to put a better mounting system on here, and you'll be able to, if anything ever happened, then the air conditioner crapped out, and you had to get it replaced or whatever, you could just simply bolt it down like it's supposed to be done. That's just a piss poor installation for sure. That's a leak. So the other thing that I don't like, and the reason why we put them up on curbs, and I don't know if you probably can't see all underneath there, but all the debris, branches, pollen, dirt, all that stuff collects up underneath there, and there's a foam gasket, and it dries the gasket out, and then it starts having these chronic leaks, very, very, very small leaks. When they have those small leaks, then they start rotting out the roof deck. When they rot out the roof deck, then things get loose, and then more water gets in. The next thing you know, and we've had it on a few other coaches, what happens is it collapses, and then that sinks down. So, like I said, we're going to open this up, and then we'll show you, like you said, the way they mount all that. It's just crazy. But that's the way they do it. They just Get it built, get it out. Get it built, get it out, get it sold. That's their motto. So they let me rip some of this open here. I'm gonna go on this side and do it. Over there, that was over there anyways. Now, got some other stuff over there. Got the fans going. Hey, we got some plywood under here. Holy guacamole. I don't know what thickness it is. I know DRW, last one we did, they were bragging about putting down half inch. I don't know if this is half inch or not. We're gonna see, but they had it on a video, and I showed the video. A customer sent it back to me because the customer says, you don't have to do all that work. And I said, yeah, we have to open it up. Oh no, they glue and screw it all down. I said, no, they don't. And sure enough, they did not. And they didn't use half-inch plywood. But so here's all the staples that pop loose. See? You know, you can see them right here. And this whole thing is, this wasn't glued down either. There's no glue in there. You need to glue these down. These things rack and twist and flex too much. You definitely need to, they have to be glued down. DRW should know better than that because they're a manufacturer. Take a Goomba like me to show them how it's done. Because I'm an expert. I went to the better funded schools in my state. That's right. We had full lunches and them vegetables. We ate those too. Good for the brain. Hey, there's a little screw. There's a little tiny screw. There's a little tiny screw. Where's the next one? Gee willikers, where's the next one? There it is. We got a few screws in here. Alright, well, we're gonna get this thing all disassembled, and then we'll see what we got underneath here. I don't like these either. Let's see if these are the same ones I'm thinking about. I'm gonna replace them anyhow. This may be a better one. Yeah, this is probably the better one. If I can get my knife in there. It's kind of hard and old and dry. I'm probably just gonna crack it, and I can't work it too well with one hand. Nope. Look at all the rusty screws. So this is just, it snaps in, it goes in that little track, and then it goes in this track, and then the water gets in there, as you can see. Look at all that. That's crazy. So the stuff that we use, I don't know if I have a piece. Look for a piece. I'm looking. Don't see one around here. So I will get one, and I'll show it to you anyways. I usually do it at the end of the video. But the ones that we use, they get tucked inside here, in there, and then they wrap over. It's got a groove in it. It keeps all that water out. That's what I like about it. But it's all special water. The RV industry knows about it. They just don't want to spend the money. You know, they just want to take your money. If there's a way the RV industry can save 1 penny, and I'm not joking on this, they will do it. And when they say, oh yeah, we did this for better quality, we use Azdel, we use da-da-da, I promise you, it is not for you. It has nothing to do with you. It is for them. It's for them to be able to get them done quicker and to get them out the door. That is a fact, Jack. All they want is your money. Then, when they get your money and you got a problem, they go, who are you? I'm the one that wrote that big fat check for that mobile suite. You remember me? No. Do we already have your money? Well, your name just slips my mind. Yep, sorry. Unless you want to buy another one, I can remember your name real quick. So, we're going to cut all this off of here. Like I said, it's all the same. It'll tear up. Looks like it'll, wow. See how easy, man, that just pulls, that's just very little glue on that. You can't do that in my roost. You can't. And I have had a guy mislay a roof, and when he did, it didn't lay right, and we had a bubble, and we had to get that up and reset it. And you went 4 guys were on the sheet trying to just pull it back 4, and we ended up getting it. I mean, it took some time, but it never popped loose like this, not at all. But the stuff, everything we use here is all commercial. If this is the first time you're watching our videos, everything is commercial. All the roofing material is commercial. Everything is. So this is rubber. This is rubber. Okay. So the way the RV industry rubber works is it's white on top and then it's black on the bottom. That is RV stuff. It's not commercial. Commercial TPO, which what we use, is going to have black base on the bottom and it'll have the white TPO on the top. So there was somebody on, trying to remember who it was. It was a Dicor, I think it was a Dicor video I was watching, and the guy was saying that's how you can identify whether you've got TPO on your roof or if you've got EPDM, is you open up, you know, your vent, go up from the ceiling, take that ring garnishment down, and then you can look up inside, and a lot of times they'll just flop, they cut the hole and they flap this down inside the hole, and you can just kind of look at the backside and see, and if it's black, then it's EPDM rubber, RV, okay, not commercial. So commercial stuff is totally different animal. So, all right, well, let me get to work. I got some stuff to do here, and I can shut up for a minute or two, and then I got to get everything prepped and measured out, and yada, yada, yada. So I was able to find a piece. So if you look at this stuff that I use right here, you see a groove right there, and there's a groove on this side. It goes up inside on the back side of this and over like that. See how it fits in? Just pushes up inside there. Then this other one, see if I can get a zoom on it for you. Then it'll just snap in the track like that. See how it's in that groove? Yeah, I busted my finger. That's how it'll seat in there, like that. That's what we use. Okay, onward and upward. All right, so something else we notice here. These are not exterior screws. Come on, DRW. You telling me for $120-something thousand you can't put in some exterior screws? Look at these things, they're all rusted. And also, they're the wrong screws. Those are bugle heads. Can't use a bugle head on these. It doesn't pull it in tight the way it's supposed to be. And they stick out because they get caught right there at the bottom. Right there where my thumbnail is. That's what happens. That's why I say, if there's a way they can save money, they're going to do it. They'll get their year warranty and they'll go, hey, sorry, you're done. See ya. We're noticing some oxidation on this. We just took the cover off. We guess the units probably work. But all the bolts are down and up underneath. Did you get the bolts out? This is Mobile Suites, DRW's fancy method of putting your air conditioner down. See how that Dicor cowpunky right there? That was what it was supposed to protect these bolts from getting all rusty because they were supposed to be sealed. Well, you can see from the shank is obviously rusted. That means water was getting down inside there. A terrible design, especially before you spend for these things. Get them built, get them out, get them sold. So we're about ready to pop this off, and we're going to redesign that mounting system for sure. So you can see we got most of the shoulder off. We got good insulation in here. And then, like I said, that video we saw on the other one, it said that they were gluing these down. Now this is 1/2-inch sheathing, but there's no glue under there. There's no glue at all. This is just going to pop right up. So we'll glue it back down. So if there's nothing wrong with the decking, we may just reuse it as well. Doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it. We'll check it out. So, alright. Well, that's what we're going to check. Get everything opened up. Well, they did put some glue here on those shoulders, but it didn't take. It didn't stick to the aluminum, which is not uncommon. So, but that's it right there. So, DRW, you need to get some better adhesive, or you got to prep your aluminum. A lot of stuff won't stick to aluminum if it's not prepped. So, you have to keep that in mind. You can't just pick something up off the shelf and say, hey, it's gonna work. It says it does. You have to go look at it and see its application. And a lot of things are generally designed for your average construction. Not so much aluminum, maybe for plywood, maybe for, you know, type things you may encounter at your house, but not for every single thing. So like I said, it's not sticking to the aluminum. A lot of adhesive does not stick to aluminum unless it's prepped or it's designed for it. Well, we got all the decking off, as you can see, and then what we did is we lifted up all the insulation. We checked all the trunk lines. You can see them right there. There was a couple down there, the joint that comes from the AC in itself. We got that tied back together. This one over here, I think it was. Right here, we got this all taped back. It was all collapsing. So we fixed that. And then there's another one over there we fixed. So we got all that and checked for wires. So we're good right now. And then we're just about ready to put the decking back on. So we're going to get that all squared away. So we're checking these. These ones seem pretty good. These ones do. And then this other one up here. So we're going to get some plate over that, secure it back down. And we'll check the other side to make sure it's all set as well. Check that other side on this one. All right, so we've got everything all fixed, all the insulation back. We're going to get ready to put the decking down. We had to cut a truss for here because the other one's way back here, and we can't get back in there to screw. So what we did is we screwed this one to that one to build it out. So we have one here, and we did the same up here to the front one as well. We'll get that squared away. While I'm going this way, I'll show you that we fixed all of this right here. Got all that done, got all that done, and then we got the truss in here. All right, the decking in itself, it was fine. It wasn't rotted at all. But then we tried to clean it up, and I didn't like it. So we redecked over the decking again, right? Just make it nice and smooth. So now that we get this really tight right here, we won't need to put in any buffer strips on it. And now I'm fixing the shoulders right here. These shoulders are really bad and all jagged up. So we're fixing those. And what you can see, I'm going to try and take some of it out, but if you look down the plane here, you may see a little bit of, and it's just the nature of the wood and the gap in here. There's nothing I can really do about it. So you'd have to get this pulled down, and maybe some of the shoulder will pull that out, but you know, there may be a little bit of burpage in there, what I call burpage. So we're getting there, slowly but surely, but we're getting there. Well, we got it all glued and rolled out, so now what we're going to do is roll it with this big roller. Just going to clean it so we don't leave any marks on it. I try to keep everything clean as we're going. Just make things a lot easier. So, but that's what we're doing now. Going to roll it back and forth, and get it packed down real good, and then we cut out our vents and everything else, get our curbs going. Got to get the solar on there too. Go over this a few times with this roller, make sure it stays down. We're all done with our mobile suites. So we moved it from the back. We had some of this other stuff that we have to do on a coach. Sometimes we'll move it out of that other bay. It was just in the back over there. We moved it out because we were around and we caulked every single thing everywhere. We caulked this whole thing up. So it was easier just to get this thing out, caulked around the windows, caulked every single thing. So this is what we got. Got a couple of solar panels up here. We just put them up there. The customer asked us to because they were kind of bulky for him. So we put them up there. But normally we don't, we just give you the runners. This is all your solar prep right here. There's all the solar prep. Got the rails, got your boots, got your studs. And you can put your panels wherever you want. So the same down here. So we've got all that. Then everything has all been, you know, heat welded. All of these, like this curb here, this curb, everything has all been heat welded. This is an exhaust. So over here is an intake. If that pops off, it will leak inside. So underneath there is a little like a nylon filter that we put in there to keep the bees and everything so they wouldn't come in. But what happens is the air gets pulled down up underneath the roof, and there's a trough from your inner lens, there's your outer lens, and all we do is make a trough there so the air will pull up, over, and down. And then this is a solar fan. So what happens on these is the condensation, especially when you have a cooler morning and then it's going to warm up, you'll see condensation and dew, and you'll probably see even on your windshield, you'll see even on the inside, you'll have condensation on the outside, you have it on the inside. This has nowhere to go, so when the sun comes up, then what happens is it'll evaporate right off the top, get rid of that moisture. But what's in the inside of the lens, it can't get all that. So when that condensates, it kind of rolls down, and then we've noticed that on the ceiling or in the roof area of the deck, you'd end up with some rot. So because the moisture's there, and it's chronic. It's something that's going to take a lot of time to do. It's not something that's going to happen like, you know, next rain. It's nothing like that at all. It'd probably take a year or two for it to happen. So what we did is I designed these ventilation systems up, and who's going to get in there and, you know, even if it was an electric fan, we'll say no one's going to go in there and keep turning that fan on and off, on and off, on and off. That's crazy. So it's a solar fan. So once the sun comes up to evaporate this, that solar fan kicks on, it'll stay on. It'll stay on all day. So much like, again, going back to your windshield, you put your defrosters on to get rid of that moisture. Well, there's nothing in here to heat that up or try to displace all of that moisture or get rid of it. So again, that's what this does. So we've got our stands in the back of the air conditioner. And then we've also, when the rain comes down, it's going to want to roll around. And when it rolls around, right up underneath there, you can't see it from this because we've got that bar there. But up underneath is just a foam gasket. And what I don't want to have happen is the rain come down and trickle down, and then as you're driving, it blow back into that foam gasket. So we put this as another piece of counter flash, that black piece, right up underneath the lid, so it'll hit that, and it goes below. All these curbs that I make, they all have another counter flash. That's what this is right here. So that goes below this, so it'll drip and run out. So everything's built with a counter flash in it. This is built with a counter flash in it. All of them are. You see we got our solar wires right there. So when he puts his panels on, he can wire it up, and then he can zip tie all that together, zip tie everything together on there. So we were able to get, I think, a grand total like maybe 9 of these panels on here. So this, obviously this coach is pretty high and the scaffold isn't quite as high, and I'm kind of a short turd. So, you know, I'm doing the best I can to give you some views on it. So we've got that Winegard antenna, same technique. We got the bolts that go down into these boots. If that fails, all he has to do is just undo the bolts, undo the coax wire, pop that off, put the new one on there. It's a 9/16. May possibly have to drill that leg out, that plastic leg that's on there. You may have to drill that out a little bit, but you can put the next one right on without having to worry about any caulking or any issues. And as you can see, there's nice space up underneath there, water and everything will wash right out. It's not going to get stuck or anything. So you want to put on this little Wi-Fi antenna. We just drop that down. We will do drops. We don't hook up. So even like the solar, these wires, we just did a drop. They're sitting down inside a cabinet where he wanted them because he's going to run them somewhere to the batteries, but we don't do any of that. So his lenses were all cracked. Those are a different type of lens covers rather that were on here originally. They were cracked, all dry rotted. So I'm sure if he can put these solar panels on and everything else, I'm sure he can screw on a couple of covers, because I don't have those covers. Then those power fans, we always have trouble finding those covers because this one's different from that one, and they just don't fit right. So we get him back the old ones, and he can match them up and maybe see if he can get them. But on the back, you can see we got these stands in the back of the air conditioner. Those just give it some balance. The other air conditioner over here has the same thing. It's got the counter flash right there in the front, and it's also got the stands in the back. You can see it up underneath there. So we've got all of this all together, and we've got our date on there. Probably can't see it, but it should say August. See if I can reach up there and show it. Should say August of 22. So the way our warranty works, it's real simple. We like to see the coach come back in about 30 days. And some people say, man, that's crazy for me to come on back. But, you know, there was a big expense to put this roof on. And there's a lot of work to go into these. And I would rather it come back so we can take a look at it to make sure everything is performing the way it should. Then after that, you come back once a year. So I would hate for something, because these rack and twist and flex a lot. And we got to rely on certain products that are going to pull for us and, you know, work for us. And if we have an issue with the product, then we get back with the manufacturer. It's not common that happens, but it could happen. So we want to make sure everything is done right, and that's why we have that, what we call an initial inspection. After that, you come back once a year. Every time you come back, we renew the warranty for another year. So this roof system, this is a 20-year roof system. This is commercial grade. There's a 60 mil commercial grade, what's called TPO, which is thermoplastic. So it has a structured membrane. So here's a piece of it right here. See if I get out of that light a little bit. So here's a piece of it right here, and on the back you can see all those little squares. There's a mesh built into this, and that is going to resist hail and punctures from maybe tree branches and things like that. In the event one does puncture through this roof, if you had a real heavy tree branch and it was kind of sharp limb that really got through it, we can do a hot patch on it. And we leave the customer with a care package, so if it does happen, they can do it real quick themselves, at least to mitigate it, so it doesn't turn into a problem. And then they can call us up and say, hey, you know, tree branch went through it, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, they bring it in and we'll put a patch on it. So we have no problem with that at all. So we even did the same type of boots for our ladder over there. You can see how they're in there. Those things wiggle and rack and twist around as you're climbing them. So we put those on there, those boots, because they're not going to leak that way. They're done. So the RV industry, they just want to exploit your ignorance to roof systems, and that's why they just want you to keep slobbing on the Dicor, or the old, what do they call it there, the lap sealant. You shouldn't have to be going up here every few months putting that lap sealant on. That's just crazy. So the other thing we did is we got 2 strikes going along the whole thing here. We got 1 strike down. We got caulking behind here is what we use. We don't use butyl. We use a special adhesive caulk, bonds right to it. Once we get it all bonded in there, and then we strike this down on the top of the gutter, and then we go back and we put 1 more strike on top of it, and then we put yet another strike on top of it. So this thing stays super tight. And then inside here, we've all these screws. See if I can pull this through. All these screws, see all the caulking on there? Every one of these screws are all sealed, every single one of them. So in this, if you look at it, it's got a little track in there, a little groove rather, and it sits in this track. And then we know that the water is going to roll off of this into the gutter instead of get down inside that track. I'd rather that than have it traveling inside that track there. So it's just a much better system. We don't sell anything here. These are not DIY videos. So all the stuff that we use, like especially this insert trim, this is all special order. And like I said, we don't sell any of it. I have it in white and I have it in black. But the RV industry doesn't want to use the good stuff. But it doesn't make sense that somebody come in and, you know, want to put on a premium roof like we do, and then they have you know, they have cheap insert trim. So like I said, we caulked everything up on here. We were really thinking of trying to get some color in here, but the problem is we just couldn't match it. And even the color we did use, like I would have used if I could find this color. Sometimes I can, but not this particular color. And they're just having a supply issue where they don't have it. But I would have tried to put brown on there, and then I would have tried to put white on there and kind of break it up as I go around. But unfortunately, like I said, I couldn't do it, so we just went back with clear. And but we caulked every single thing around here. I mean, it took about 4 days, 3.5 days, 4 days to do it, because we went around everything, every little screw. Even the slide outs, we pulled them out, did the same thing. We want to make sure it is sealed up. So, and that's where you get a lot of leaks, and we'll find damage just from that because of the, we'll find damage because of that, because of the lack of caulking on there, right? So, other than that, we're about ready to go, and we appreciate you watching. And again, like I said, these aren't DIY videos. So, maintenance on this, real simple, just wash it with some soap, or you can go to a truck wash and say, hey, spray it all off, clean it out for me. They'll scrub it down and so forth, and that's an easy way to do it. Or if you want to get up here with a scrub brush, you can just use some dish soap, and even if you do want to use a pressure washer, you can, as long as you don't use the pencil tip. You can just use like a 15 or 25 degree wand, stay about 8 inches or so, 8 to 12 inches off there, and you'll know, you'll see the dirt come right off. It's real easy to clean. This will stay this clean if you keep up with it. They really will. We got one customer, he's washed it about 5 times a year, and I mean, it looks as good as the day we put it down. So let's see, is there anything else that I forgot? I don't think so. All right, well, we appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. Care package. Right. So in our care package we have caulking, we got primer, we have got 2 patches. Those are heat patches. We got a patch, peel and stick patch. We got a checker tool. We've got a magnet. And the rest of this is just pens, keychains, brush, nozzle. Okay, so if we have a hole in the roof, it will simulate a hole. You can do hole simulations. We say we got a hole there. Here's your tree branch come through, and you're like, oh man, I got a hole in my roof, it's leaking. So what you want to do? And it's raining out. Right now it's raining. You're like, crap, I gotta stop that leak. You want to get in there, and if you can't get that nozzle in there, don't worry about it. Make it a little bigger. What you try and do, you need to get up underneath the roofing, like this. This is what we need to do, get up underneath the roofing. Then you're going to take and you're going to put this up inside there, and you're going to squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hopefully this thing is plugged up. There it goes. You squeeze, squeeze. You want to try and get up underneath this part too. Squeeze up underneath there. Put some more underneath there. Well, we are getting this thing all boogered up. Then what we're going to do, you're going to push it together. See how it oozes out? That's sealed. You're done. This is a moisture cured product. So what? It's a hot mess. Looks terrible. Who cares? Keep the water out. So now, the next day, we're going to go up there, and that's going to be cured looking like that. So we're going to take a knife, and you just shave it down. Just shave it down with a knife. I'm just going to obviously wipe this off. Now you say, hey, I want something a little better than that. So what we're going to do is get some cleaner. This is a terrible rag. You got another one. You got one on you? Oh, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag, get a rag. Hey, what are you doing? What are you going to talk about, man? Nope, just leave it alone. Oh, leave it alone right now. We're recording now? Are we on? Yes, sir. Okay. Alright, so now we cleaned it off with a knife. I just washed that off because it's still wet. Take that off. So now we got a patch. This is a peel and stick patch. We're going to take that, we're going to center it over there. Just take a pen and go around like this. I like to kind of put a dash like that so I know who's where, what, and where, and how. So now there's what I got. So in the package we got primer. We also have a brush. You're going to take that, you're going to go all inside the square. You're also going to go outside this square about 3/8 of an inch. Outside about 3/8 of an inch or so. Once you get that, there's a film on the back. You peel the film, now you know which side you are, see, because there's your marks. And you peel that film back. Get the fingers, fat fingers in there to get the film off of this thing. This is just a regular roof tape. That's all it is. We put them in all the care packages. Get that daggone thing off of there. Probably need some fingernails. Probably help. Come on. There it is. Okay. There it is. Now you got the film. We take that film. So now we're going to line it back up with this. We already got the primer under there. You just peel the film back, and as you do, you just rub it down like this. Sometimes that film will get a little stuck in there. This is just a butyl. You just kind of try to keep it as even as you can and flat as you can. Boom, you're done. There it is. So now, out here, this is where your primer is. You put the primer on there. You got primer there, and now you're going to put primer here. You want to prime all this area with your brush. Prime all that.
Then you're going to come back, once you get it all primed, then you're going to put a little bit of caulking on it, just like this. That's simple. If it doesn't all sit in there, you can always take your finger and go around it if you want. We're trying to obviously stop a leak and make one of, there's going to be a little more permanent of a patch than just that plug that we did when it was raining. So now that we get that all done, what the whole purpose of it is, this part here, this part underneath here, that's a butyl. When the sun hits that, if you didn't have the caulking on there, it will cause it to release and curl up just like I'm doing here. And it'll start coming loose. That's why you need the primer. That's why when you prime it, you're going to prime on top of this, because nothing will stick to it. Nothing, the caulking will not stick to this patch, and it won't stick to the roof unless you use the primer. That's how you do a patch. Ta-da! All done.